Hello everyone, so in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to draft your 6 pieces blouse pattern using your princess data pattern. So I've already made the video on how to draft this pattern. I'll be sharing the link on the description box below, so be sure to check that out. So once you have your pattern, all you have to do is get another pattern paper, because I want to trace my princess pattern just up to the waist. I am not making like a full blouse. If you're making a full blouse with this pattern, then I'm okay, but since this is gonna be like flared out on the sides, the first thing you're gonna do is trace it out in another pattern paper up to the waistline. That's what I'm doing right here. Okay, so after tracing it out, use your ruler to connect the waistline. Then we're going to cut this out. So this is the side front, and that's gonna be two, one for the left and one for the right side. So next thing you do is cut it out. You will also do the same for all the pattern pieces. So we are going to have 3 in the front, so the 2 side pieces and then the 1 center piece. So you're going to trace them out and cut out up to the waistline. Alright, so I have all the pieces. This is for the center front. This is the center back, and that's the side back. Okay, so the 2 center back is going to have 2, because you're going to put zipper in the middle. So the next thing that you're going to do is get another pattern paper, measure out 12 inches, or depending on you how much you want your flare to be. For me, I want it to be 12 inches. You can do less than that depending on how much fabric that you have. So you can do any amount that you want. So after you cut that out, you measure it, make sure that it's 12 inches. So this will be for our flare. Now fold that into 2 to get the midpoint. Fold it in 2 equal parts, like I'm doing here. Just want to make sure I got the equal parts of that. Now you open it up, and then you take any piece that you like. For the example I'm using the center front pattern. I do the same for that center front pattern. Fold it in half to get the midpoint. Then you place it to match the new pattern paper that you are using. Make sure that they completely match. Alright, and then you're gonna use a tape to hold it down. Then from that center, from the center front, you're going to be measuring down 7 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. So this is how long your entire blouse piece will be. Okay, so my half length was 16 inches. Then now I'm adding 17. I'm adding 7 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance at the hemline. And then from the end of the waistline on your pattern piece, you draw a line to meet the 12 inches mark that we made earlier. So now this is your flare, and that's your first piece completed here, and you just cut it out. Okay, so this represents the center front piece. So this one will go in the front. You're going to place this like this on your fabric and cut it out. Now the next one I'm going to demonstrate how to cut is the back piece, the center back. So for the center back, the difference is that it has a zipper in the middle, so we are not going to be extending the flare and the middle part, only on the side. So all you have to do is measure how long the same amount, the same length as the front, which is 8 inches, and then you mark it out. Okay, so after you mark it out, you measure on that line. On the line that you marked horizontally, you're going to measure 6 inches. Remember, for the front we did 12 inches, but because the back have the zipper allowance, we're gonna do 6 inches on one side and 6 inches on the other side. I hope you guys are following, which is exactly what I did here. So this part with the straight line is going to be where the zipper allowance will be. So now we're going to cut two of the back piece, so that the zipper will be in the middle after you connect them. And that's just basically it for the middle piece, for the back middle piece. Yes, and the zipper will be in the middle. All right. Okay, now the next one is the back, the side back. You're gonna do the same thing, fold it into two to get the midpoint, and then your pattern paper as well, fold it into two to get your midpoint. Measure out 12 inches and then measure down 7 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. That's 8 inches. Okay. Then you place both of them together, making sure that the midpoints are matching correctly. And then you tape it down using your masking tape. All right. As you can see, everything is matching. If you wish, you can also draw a line to indicate that's the waistline. And then from that end of the waistline, you will draw a line to meet the end of the 12-inch mark, like I'm doing here. And this completes the side back. So we're going to be cutting two of this when you place it on your fabric to cut. Alright, so that's the side back. Now the next one is the side front. You do the same thing, fold it into two, get the midpoint, fold your pattern paper into two and get your midpoint. Then we're going to measure down our length, which is 7 inches plus 1 inch as seam allowance. That makes 8 inches. From that line, I'm gonna measure 6 inches because I have my pattern paper in fold. That's what I'm doing here. Then you draw your lines. This is just another method you can do. You can leave it on fold, mark out your 6 inches so that when you open it up, it's going to be 12 inches. That's exactly what I just did here. Then I cut that out. Okay, so now I open that, measure again the 6 inches. And then extend the line to meet the other 6 inches, and that completes to 12 inches. Okay. All right, now I get my pattern paper again, just like I did with other patterns. Place the midpoint together, making sure they are matching. Then secure it down with a tape. Okay, I secured it down with a tape. Then using my ruler again, from the edge of the waistline, I make my line to meet the end of the 12 inches mark. And that's just it. So now we cut it out. Alright, so this is just an easy way to make your 6 pieces blouse. So everything, all the pieces are now together. These are there's 3 pieces for the front, and the same will be and I also have the same for the back. I hope this video has been helpful. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. Bye.